What's up, friends? I got a new review for you today, and this isn't something that I typically review on this channel. Osee reached out to me about a month ago and asked if I wanted to check out some of their high bright monitors that they have, some production monitors, and I'm not gonna hold this. Let me set this down. And so they sent me out the LCM215-E, which is a 21.5-inch 1080p 1000 nit monitor. They also have the same monitor, but in HDR. This one isn't HDR. But I have to say right off the bat, this is one of the nicest field monitors that I've ever used. It's super bright and nice and sharp. And I also noticed on their site that they have the V-mount version, this one that I have here, and it's actually 30% off right now. I'm not sure how long this deal runs, but that's actually a really good price, especially for these type of field monitors, because this is not a cheap monitor. This is like a really high quality panel. So if you're on the fence and you're thinking about getting something like this, I highly recommend this monitor. All right, so typically on the sets I'm working on, I usually have a first AC using like a 7-inch monitor to pull focus, and then I usually get a 13-inch or a 15-inch production monitor for the director and crew to watch on. And you know, it's actually so critical to have a field monitor on set to see little specific things that I can't see on my little 5-inch monitor that's on my camera. And it's funny, this actually happened on a shoot recently where I didn't notice like a wall plug or something in the frame, and it was more distracting when you saw it on a bigger monitor and way more obvious than it was when I had it on my small monitor. It's also essential to have on larger projects that have bigger budgets where you just can't reshoot. So having like a nice, large, sharp monitor will help you with things like wardrobe issues, like, I don't know, stray threads, or even just small things like makeup touch-ups. Basically, every large shoot that I do requires this valuable piece of gear, and not many people talk about it. So as I said, this is a 21.5-inch 1080p display. It has 2 SDI inputs as well as outputs. It also has HDMI in and Ethernet, and this version I have here is actually V-mount, which is already pre-wired internally. It also has a lot of power options. It has DC out through USB as well as LEMO, and DC in as well as AC in if you want to run it off the wall. And they also include a C-stand mount as well. And what's really nice is it has a nice top handle that's all metal, and the whole back of the monitor is also metal. And along the front, we have some convenient buttons like the input as well as your function buttons, which you can actually customize to whatever you want, as well as your menu option and your power button. So I had the monitor out a few times on a few shoots, and it's performed flawlessly. I've had no issues with it running all day long. Unfortunately, I don't have the rights to show some of the sets that I had this on because just timing of releases and the footage isn't out yet, but I was able to grab a little bit of BTS on a smaller shoot, and I love the color accuracy of this monitor. It's actually almost identical to my Atomos Shinobi, which I've always felt looks the most accurate to what I'm shooting. There's also very little ghosting, which is really nice to see, and something I was really surprised with is that it has next to no latency. I tried to demonstrate this by snapping my fingers in front of the camera, and I usually use my Cosmo 500 wireless transmitter, which I use to wirelessly transmit video, and it also has little latency, and connected with this, it has next to no latency. And I've used monitors in the past that had too much latency, and especially when you're shooting music videos, because it looks like the musician is off time with the music, but with this, I couldn't even notice a difference. So one of the big selling features about this monitor is that it's 1000 nits, and that's a big deal when you're getting into a monitor that's this price. It's not that expensive. You can crank the backlight way up as high as it goes, and in direct sunlight, you're gonna be able to see the monitor no problem. I took this out into the field, midday sun, and I was actually blown away that, you know, even without the sun hood on it, I was able to see everything perfectly. I even faced the panel directly into the sun, and there was not even any reflections or anything. So whatever they're using on this matte screen is amazing for like reflection rejection. I don't know what you would call it, but it has really good viewing angles. The brightness doesn't really change even when you're shifting it off axis, and I'm really impressed. When it comes to exposure tools and features, there's a lot of stuff to work with, so let's jump into that now. So the first button on the monitor is the input selector, and here you can choose which input you want to have it set to. Right now I'm actually plugged into SDI 2. As I mentioned before, it does have function buttons on the front that you can customize. Right now I have mine just customized to focus assist, false color, and things like that. So the menu is kind of confusing. The first option is your input select. You can turn your inputs on and off, but it also has your focus settings as well as your zebra options. Under marker, you have all your marker options like safety markers as well as your center marker. And under audio, you have all your options for audio monitoring. So under display, this is where all your waveform options are. I don't know why the zebras aren't in here, just waveform, but this is where you actually adjust your waveform. You can put it to the left, you can put it to the right, you can actually change the transparency on it, and you can also turn on the vector scope as well. And the next option is config. This is where you're going to spend most of your time. This is where all your options are for picture-in-picture, backlight, sharpness, and stuff like that. When you choose backlight, it goes all the way to 30, which is basically 100%. So we could say that 15 is probably halfway. Then you can adjust your sharpness. It's under the option called aperture. I don't know why it's called aperture, but that's what allows you to bump the sharpness up. And the next option is actually look profile. So this is actually where your LUTs are loaded in. The monitor already has preloaded LUTs, and I didn't touch this. I just left it at Rec 709, but you can make your adjustments there, as well as the function options here. So this is where you set your custom function buttons in the menu. Another cool thing is that this monitor has picture-by-picture and picture-in-picture mode, so you can actually preview 2 feeds coming into the monitor at once. And this is super handy if you want to preview 2 cameras on set. That way, you know, the director can watch 2 feeds at the exact same time, or maybe the production company in the truck can watch 2 things at once. And I actually needed this feature on set the other day because I had shot part of a video in one location, and then I was shooting some inserts at another location, but I wanted to try and match the lighting. Unfortunately, I also can't show you this because I don't have the rights to show you because the footage isn't out yet. But what I was able to do was I was able to actually load the footage that I shot before on my laptop through HDMI into one of the line-ins on the monitor, and then I had my camera set up on the other set with SDI plugged in, and I was able to do picture-by-picture and be able to match the lighting as close as possible. And I don't actually know how I would have pulled that off any other way, and you know, that came in really clutch. So obviously I really like this monitor, and it's going to be with me on set pretty much all the time, but there are a few things that I wish were improved, and the first thing would be the fans. They're incredibly loud, and they always just seem to run at full speed all the time. I wish there was a way to set the speed so you could lower it if you didn't need it to run that fast. If you have the brightness set at around half, that's when the fans kick in, and they just stay on all the time. You can shut them off in the menu, but that only works if the brightness is lower than half. So if you're recording audio, keep that in mind because these fans are pretty loud. What I also noticed is that the power switch doesn't work if you have a V-mount battery. So that switch on the back is only for AC when it's plugged into the wall. And there's also a power switch on the front, but if you have a V-mount battery plugged into it, it kind of just puts it into like a standby. And if the fans are on, they'll just keep running even when the monitor's turned off. So if you don't want to burn out your battery, you got to make sure you pop the battery out. Although it does come with a C-stand mount on the back, it's not that great compared to something like a VESA mount. You can't adjust it anyway. It just stands straight up. That's kind of annoying, but at least it comes with one. And the last thing that would be nice is if it came with some kind of a case, even if it was just like a soft case. I had to figure out the dimensions of this that would work, and I found that the Nanook 945 case works really well with this monitor. And that case is actually kind of expensive, but it's worth it to protect this monitor. So after all that, I'd highly recommend this production monitor. It exceeded my expectations. It's actually really nice, and it's really bright, and that's something that's hard to find when you're comparing to like higher end competitors. I want to do like a long-term review on this once I've used it more and kind of headed on more sets. But like I said, I'm really impressed, and I'm really curious how much brighter the 1500 nit would be because this is already so good in the sun. Anyway, hopefully I answered your questions in this video. If you're trying to find a review and you're thinking about buying this, thanks for watching. I'll put links in the description where you can find everything. Yeah, and it's 30% off right now. I think that's till the end of August, and I'm filming this right now in the middle of August 2021. So if you're on the fence and thinking about getting this thing, you should scoop up that deal. That's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked this video, give it a thumbs down twice. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next one.